Welcome back to StackEdge. Today we are going to learn about the difference between value types and reference types in C Sharp. This is a very common interview question and I will explain it with simple example and real world analogy so you will never forget it. Let's get started. In C Sharp, all data types are divided into value types and reference types. Now get the definition for first value types. The definition is value types directly hold the actual value and are stored in the stack. Examples include int, float, boolean, struct, and enum. When we assign one value type variable to another, a copy of the value is created. This means they work independently. I will explain you this example after giving you a reference type definition. Let's go to the reference type definition. The definition is reference types on other hand store a reference or addresses in the stack which point to the actual object in the heap. Examples include class, string, object, array, and interface. Assigning one reference type variable to another makes them point to the same object. So changes in one variable also affect the other. Let's go to the quick comparison. Value type store data directly and reference type store a memory address. Value types use copy behavior and reference type use shared behavior. Value types cannot be null by default while reference type can be null. And value types have default value like 0 or false and reference type default to null. Value types are generally faster because they live in the stack and reference types are slightly slower due to heap allocation and garbage collection. In another video, I will define garbage collection. Today, we are focusing on value types and reference type. Let's go to the example. You can see the value types example. Int employee salary equals to 50,000. Int employee 2 salary equals to employee 1 salary. Where there is copy of value employee 1 salary into employee 2. Now, we go to change the employee 2 salary equal to 60,000. Then print the employee 1 salary and employee 2 salary. So now you can see the employee 1 salary equal to 50,000 and employee 2 salary equal to 60,000. Now I will explain for you what happens. Int salary employee salary equals to 50,000. What happens in memory? The value 50,000 is stored directly in the stack memory location reserved for employee 1 salary. Think of it like writing a number directly on a sticky note, a notepad, and copy employee 1 salary. It never changed. So now int employee 2 salary equals to employee 1 salary. What happens in memory? Employee 1 salary is still 50,000 and employee 2 salary 50,000 copy, but it's created in new memory. The computer reads the value from employee salary, which is 50,000. It then created a brand new memory location for employee 2 salary. Finally, it copies the value 50,000 into this new location. Two completely independent memory location now both contain 50,000. When you assign a employee 2 salary equals to employee 1 salary, then both employee salary equals to 50,000. Now we're going to modify employee 2 salary equals to 60,000. What happens in memory? Stack memory in stack memory employee 1 salary is still 50,000 and changed. Employee 2 salary is going to 60,000. Only this one changes. The computer goes to the memory location of employee 2 salary. It overwrites only that specific location with 60,000. The memory location of employee 1 salary remains completely untouched. Why contents employee? Why cannot employee 1 salary change? Yes. Think of it like two separate bank accounts. Account A, employee 1 salary has $50,000. Account B, employee 2 salary, you copy in $50,000 from account A. If you withdraw 10,000 from account B, account A still has 50,000. No connection after copy. Once the copy operation in employee 2 salary equal to employee 1 salary is complete, there is no link, no reference, no connection between the two variables. They are as separate as two numbers written on a different piece of paper. Just the reason employee 1 salary stay at 50,000 is because value types create complete independent copies during assignment. They live in a separate memory location, and modifying one does not affect the other because there is no underlying connection. Just two separate values that happen to start with the same number. Now go to the reference type example. Let's create a class employee profile, public string department. The employee profile E1 equals a new profile in E1 dot department equals to HR. Employee profile E2 equals to E1, same object reference. Okay. Employee 2 dot department equal to finance. Okay. Now print the employee 1 department, employee 2 department. They both are changed. Now step. Let's assume you have a re- home in a remote. Think think like this. Think of a new employee profile as a buying a new TV. The TV is placed in the living room just like a heap memory. When we write employee profile E1 equals to new employee profile, we now get our first remote control E1 that points to this TV. Then we set employee 1 department equal to HR. Using the remote E1, we set the TV channel to HR. The TV object now shows HR on the screen. Step 2, second remote E2, employee profile E2 equals to E1. This line does not buy a new TV. Instead, it gives us a second remote E2 that points to the exact same TV. Now we have a two remotes E1 and E2, but only one TV, one object. Step changing by second remote E2 department equal to finance. Here we take a remote E2 and switch the TV channel to finance. Since both E1 and E2 are controlling the same TV, if we check the screen using either remote, it shows some finance. When we a- ask E1 the first remote, it looks at the TV and see finance. When we ask E2 the second remote, it also see finance because it's the same TV. The reason both A1 department and E2 department show finance is because reference assignment copies the memory address, not the object. Both variables becomes different handles the object to the exact same underlying object in memory. When you modify through any handle, you are modifying the single shared object that all reference point to. So how do you remember this? Value type is stored in the stack, make independent copies. Example, salary amounts. Reference stack is stored in heap, variables point to the same object. Example, employee profiles. Now in the next video, we will deeper into different ways to initialize variable in C Sharp. So make sure to subscribe the StackEdge, hit the like button and share this video if it helps you. Thank you for watching.